Hey YouTube, as you saw in the title, there's a new number one ranked Pokemon and it is Skarmory, and we are going to go over what happened here with the move updates. So there's video that is in two pieces. One, the new rankings because of what happened to the move updates. So I'm just going to go over the new top 20 rankings, go over the move updates, what caused these, and then we'll get into the Skarmory battles and analysis on Steel Wing. So Skarmory's number one. You're thinking, how can an unusable Pokemon go from being like two something unusable to number one ranked? And that is because Niantic has decided to buff Steel Wing from a 5 to a 7 energy. So we assumed it was gonna be a 6 energy boost, like 5 to 6. It ended up being a 5 to 7, and that 5 to 6 bumped this up in the previous rankings that I did yesterday to like 30 30 something, and now it's number one. So you gotta be thinking, does this move in itself make this, why would a move that just goes from 5 to 7 make this number one? And there's two things at play here. So let's just first actually look at the move of why it's better than Air Slash. So moving the energy from a 5 to a 7, it's a 2-turn move versus a 3-turn fast move. So if you saw my video yesterday, I'm like, why does Skarmory with Steel Wing beat a Scrafty when an Air Slash doesn't? And it's because it is a 2-turn fast move as opposed to a 3-turn fast move, so you can actually get a second Sky Attack off or Brave Bird or something like that. So that's what the main difference was. But it's a 2-turn fast move with now a 3.5 damage per turn and a 3.5 energy per turn. And again, is that good? Not really, because it's not bad, but like Incinerate just got buffed, so it's a 4 and 4. Shadow Claw is 3 and 4. Counter is better, so it's overall good. It's not like the best of the best, but it's pretty good in terms of damage per turn and energy per turn, right? Because again, this is at the a turn here per turn is like a half a second 1 turn thing, right? So it's 8 damage per second and 7 energy per second, which is actually quite a good combo. So that is why it is so strong. But are we really thinking that just a fast move with a super limited Sky Attack and Brave Bird is the reason that it's so high? The reason that it is so high is right here. It has 10 resistances, many double resistances. So it single resists Dragon, Fairy, Flying, Ground, Normal, Psychic, Steel, and double resists Bug, Grass, and Poison. It only has 2 weaknesses in Electric and Fire, and then there's some neutral moves in like Water and stuff like that. But the reason that this has gone so high, and let's just quickly look at its stat products, just to give you an analysis. And there are stats products, which is why it makes it strong too. I always say, if you watch my videos for a while now, if you have that sort of 2000 overall stat product, you're in a good situation if you have decent movesets. So now you got a really good fast move, still have nukes with a Brave Bird in the back, with a 2100 overall stat product, good defense on this Pokemon. So between the stat products of defense, between having a really good fast move now and having 10 resistances, means this Pokemon is now the top ranked. There are 2 issues. I'm going to talk about the one main issue on this, and then we'll go over the rest of the rankings here. So the one main issue with this is it is still very much it's RPS. So what I mean by that is you're going to see a few of these matchups. Steel Wing is resisted by Water, and the Flying is resisted by Electric and Rock and stuff. So if you get, because it has so many resistances, there are so many matchups that you are just going to dominate. If you get like if you're on a Superior, they're going to have absolutely nothing to throw you. Everything's resisted. If you get on a, I can't think of any other Pokemon off the top of my head, but if you get like a bunch of other Pokemon, they're likely like everything is resisted. So you're going to just have so many good matchups. On the other end, if you go against a Lantern, if you have nothing to throw at the Lantern. If you go against a couple other Pokemon, there's just nothing that you can really throw. So it's just like you're very it's very RPS. You're either going to win hard, lose hard, and there's only like a few like actually just like somewhat neutralist matchups. So that is sort of the overall problem with this Pokemon. You need to cover Lantern twice in the back end, which my team actually does a poor job of. So it does a poor job of a couple of the other things like you need to cover basically Talonflame is going to light you up because it resists the Steel Wing. And the thing with this, so the energy is faster now. Sorry. So yeah, just cover those weaknesses hard. Just quickly looking over it. So the other stuff, what happened? Carbon's about the same. So Azumarill was 1, moved down to 4. Lickitung moved back up to 3. Registeel, Medi. Not much has changed here. Vigoroth is still there. Toxapex is still up. Gligar, Poliwrath, that thing. Shadow, Skarmory is now at 18. Lantern has now entered the top 20, right? Because you now have Skarmory at number 1 and Azumarill at number 4, plus Mantine, Pelipper, Mandibuzz, Toxapex, right? So this is Water Gun Lantern, right? Poke actually put in Spark Lantern and it's lower, so take that as you will. And then there's like Bastion at 20, Talonflame at 21. And then I don't think there's a ton of changes down here. Superior dropped a little bit because of Skarmory being bumped up so much. There's your Spark Lantern at 34. Wiggly, we went over yesterday, 34. So let's look, because there's actually two things. There's a couple other things with the moves that kind of surprised me. So let's just quickly go over those now, and then we'll go over the battles. The first thing, we knew about, let's talk about what we knew about. Psychic, down to 75, that's fine. Mudslap went up in energy, 1, that was assumed. Bubble, we knew going up 1. Astonish, we knew going up 4. Iron Tail, we assumed 1 and 1, so that is fine. Fire Spin, 1 we knew. Blaze Kick, 60 we knew. Incinerate there. There's two things that we did not know, and that actually surprised me. So we knew Skull was getting the buff from 80 to 85. Most of us assumed that the buff activation, so the chance of lowering your opponent's attack, was only going to go from 30% to 40%. It actually went to 50%. So Scald is much better, and you're going to see a Poliwrath team tomorrow. And I didn't actually get like, a lot of the battles was just like Scald, lower the attack, Scald, lower the attack. So it's a 50% chance now, which is quite high. So you have a harder hitting move with a higher chance of lowering the attack than I expected. The second thing that caught us off guard, was the Steel Wing going from 5 to 7, but this whole video is going to be on that. The other thing that caught me off guard is the Breaking Swipe. The Breaking Swipe chance of activating went from 100 to 50%. I thought that it was going to mimic what happened with Registeel and go from 100% to 67%, but they actually just dropped it down to 50%. So Steelix, in my opinion, is much, much, much worse. And it's down to 230, and I think rightfully slow. So if you do not have that 100% guarantee, like 67 would have been good. 50 is just like hit or miss, and then if you don't have that, you're screwed. So they really, really, really nerfed Steelix in this. I'm assuming Ultra League is updated as well. We'll go over. Someone asked me for Ultra League. I will go over Ultra League next week when it's on. Yeah, Steelix is now down to 69. It was second. It was second before. It's down to 69, and the Master League, or actually like Great League, rest in peace, Heliolisk 557. Rest in peace. What's the other dragon's name? I'll have to find it all the way down here. Haxorus 228. Right? They all just got nerfed into the ground with that move set. So that is it. So the team I put out was Skarmory, Sableye, Swampert. If Skarmory's gonna have problems with fire, then they're gonna have problem with electric like Lantern. Skarmory makes sense in theory, and then Sableye I just put in as a safe swap. You're gonna see in some battles there's some common weaknesses. So let's just start with Grass Hole here. I'll go over the bad I wouldn't run this team, and I'll show you why in the bad matchups. But Steel Wing is super effective against rock and resisted against steel. So you are doing neutral, which is a huge improvement. Again, you can't throw anything unless you're running Flash Cannon. But what I'm able to do is chip there, come into this matchup here. They're still not getting out, which is fine. I'm able to just chip this low, and they finally come in with Shadow Vic, and they decide to not shield, which I think was a huge mistake if you're running Grass Hole. Like, you need to keep switch here, but they do not. I take them out. They have a second grass Pokemon in the back. I get Swampert on this. They shield. which is weird. I get Swampert on this, can just farm down. I let the first one go because I can. And then I'm like, this is definitely just going to be, it doesn't matter. I'm double resisting the moves on Skarmory. So Skarmory's going to take this easy, but I'm like, and there's no real point to not shield this because they're just going to fast move me down anyways. So I might as well just shield one, get the Hydro off, and then just be able to get a couple Sky Attacks. So go back-to-back Sky Attacks here for the win. So the Skarmory versus Fastion matchup, you actually get to chip now. And if you get it against Carbink, you're doing double super effective, I believe. Yeah, double super effective because Steel, because again, Metagross dominates Fairies because it's super effective, and now you're hitting super effective against Rock and Fairy, so you're hitting double super effective Steel Wings. Lanturn, bad lead, right? You better have a couple answers to this. So they are not getting out immediately, which is good. I'm going to burn the switch clock. I'm going to chip this as much as I can. But yeah, Lanturn is tanky. Lanturn will have a... Lanturn sparks are adding up huge. They just do go straight Thunderbolt. Not enough to take me out, and I get to the foul play, which is nice because this will take out or grab a shield. So I am able to grab a shield, burning the switch clock a little more because I assume they have some sort of answer to Swampert in the back. So I just go for the full farm down. Take one surf, and then I end up having to, I was about to say, I at this point I committed to the full farm down, so I'm just like, they're gonna get to two surfs anyway, so I have to shield. So shield one, take the second one. I don't have to shield that. I could just get off the Hydro, but I feel like just committing to the farm down and coming out with 100 energy is better. Expecting a grass or something. So I come in here and they have a Skeldurge, right? So that is unfortunate. I just go straight Brave Bird. Poor timing. Full Incinerate through. Really bad timing. I crap on others in my video this afternoon for poor timing my Talonflame Incinerate, so I will do the same thing. That was very poor timing on my part. Do get this. Now they can claw down though, right? It's not like it's a grass move, and then this game is over because they're able to get to two. Those couple extra claws actually help them out. It's close. I'm at a third Hydro here, but they actually go back-to-back Seed Bombs, so I probably should have... oh yeah, plus my game froze multiple times on me today. My record today sucks because of the amount of freezing that my game did today, but whatever, it's day one. So yeah, I thought I shielded this. Maybe if I get the Mudshot off, I win, but they actually go back-to-back here. So those two claws on my Skarmory cost me that game, so maybe I should not have taken out that Pokemon. So Talonflame, again, terrible lead. Can't come straight into Swampert, right? Because they probably have an answer to it. They come in Vigoroth, which is a huge mistake. Yes, it has Rock Slide now, but I'm still going to outpace you to the foul plays. And it's going to be 2 foul plays versus 2 Rock Slides. Right? Claws are double resisted compared to Counter, which is single resisted. So advantage them, they can now actually just commit to the counter down or the body slam from here. So I'm like, they're going to take me out. Let's just go. I'm only going to get to one move anyway, so let's just go for that. Coming here. Basically, I'm just going to go 2-shield this Swampert at this point. There's no reason not to. So here's your coverage move, right? Instead of having nothing from Vigoroth to throw at this, you're now being able to throw Rock Slides. Out comes a Talonflame. I'm going to shield, respect a Brave Bird or Fly. I saw quite a few Talonflames today. Every single one used Fly, which I think is the right move. I have a full analysis on Talonflame this afternoon coming out, and a full analysis on Incinerate versus Incinerate, why it's so good now, but the problems with the 5-turn fast move, and I have a whole discussion about Fly versus Brave Bird and why Fly is the way to go. But in this one, Steel Wing is the way to go. So yeah, I do end up shielding this and getting the Hydro off. I gotta save some battery here because I do not have my... Okay, I'm hoping that my battery... I don't have my cord plugged in and it's gonna go down soon. So yeah, there's 2 Pokemon that I ran up against, which this whole team loses to. The first one is Greninja. Actually, not my whole team loses to. The second one was Guzzlord, which Swampert, Sableye are going to get killed by Guzzlord. The problem is I would have a decent matchup with Skarmory, but I didn't get it on it. But Greninja on the lead. Greninja is resisting the Steel Wing. Water resists Steel, so I can, and it takes a while to get to the Sky Tax. And it charges so damn fast and hits so hard. So it's just like, okay, between that, resist Sableye doing resisted moves, they smartly come in and just absorb all this energy on Beedrill and then just run with Greninja. So this team loses to Greninja, this team loses to Guzzlord. The Sableye Swampert Skarmory combo is not working. So get a better safe swap to deal with those other Pokemon that I mentioned, and don't run Sableye, use a better safe swap. What's a safe swap that can deal with Greninja? The problem is you can't use something like, you can't use a fairy, you can't use ice, because then you're realistically just screwed against like a Bastiodon. Even though you now have Steel Wing, which is better, you're still like you're still in trouble there. They boosted here too, which is like, okay, whatever. And then I try and catch and lose. So you need something you can deal with like Guzzlord, Greninja, which is a fighter, maybe? What's the drawback of a fighter on this team? Fighter will deal with those. Yeah, not bad. So as you're seeing, super effective against the ice here. I shield 1 because Shadow Ball or Avalanche is still really going to hurt. I'm going to time my Sky Attack for right before. I don't want to commit the farm down. If they're going to get another move off, I'm going to grab a shield here. So I grab a shield. I could shield back or I could let go. Let's see what I decide to do. I do let it go. I should be able to farm down with these, and they're smart and get out. I just go Brave Bird, right? I'm already at the Brave Bird. Might as well. This will allow me to adjust based on what happens. So they let it go. So I come in here, which these moves are double resisted, and they will get to the rock sides faster. So I probably still need to throw a Foul Play to take them out here. I do. But those counters and body slams would have added up a lot on Swampert, so I don't regret coming in here. Plus now Claws will be super effective against Frostlass if Frostlass comes back in, so I expect them to come in with whatever's in the back. And it is another dragon. Luckily this one I'm able just to claw and Foul Play. I then come in Skarmory. I maybe should have come in Swampert, but I came in Skarmory because I wanted to see how much this would chip. And I'm like, okay, that's actually enough chip to take this into Hydro range. I know it has Avalanche, so I'd rather just shield this one because they're pretty low, I think, on the Frostlass. They try to catch, which allows me to get 3 more too. So now I'm at a Hydro, and I'll get to a much of Hydro, and I think they top left here. Or they get to a move, but does not take me out. Yeah, and then they top left. Because the Hydro will take out from that range, resisted or not. Charge Bug, another Electric, another loss. Come in safe swap here, which is again not amazing. So this is what I was talking about at the beginning with the RPS, right? There are so many hard losses for Skarmory here with Electric Pokemon and Fire Pokemon, and some Water are going to be trouble because of the Steel. And Lantern is just going to wall it. So you have a ton of hard lead losses. Or losses just anywhere on your team here, that if you do not flip switch, you're going to basically just lose the matchup. And that's why it's going to be very RPS. You're going to have a ton of matchups that it's just, you're going to dominate or you're going to get dominated. And if you can't flip that mid game there, you're looking at a loss anyways. So Skarmory ranked number 1. Yes, I think it's strong. But I think it can just be so easily beat that's where the problems are. And I won't be, I don't want to block the battles here, so you can watch them while I talk here. But if you look at its win-loss record, let me see if these stats are optimized here or not. Let me just maximize stat products here. Your win-loss record as a Skarmory is if you optimize stat product, is actually only 20 and 21. If you maximize stat product with Steel Wing that is buffed, which is not a good record. And some of these losses, why I love stake swaps is you're gonna lose, but you're losing like the 300-400 range. You have a 108 rating against Lantern, 192 against Charizard, 193 against Registeel, 194 against Talonflame, 219 against Shadow Swampert, 297 against Jellicent, 341 against Bastiodon. How do you even have a 350 against Diggersby? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. But yeah, like, those are a ton of hard losses. And if you lose that bad against one of those Pokemon, like if you cannot flip switch back and you have these Pokemon, you either have your switch locked on these Pokemon, or you like have them on the lead and you go to switch and then you lose switch and you're back on this anyways, like your game is over. And so that's why I think #1 ranked, sure, on PvPoke, I don't see in practice that it's gonna be #1 ranked. I think I will give you the other end of the spectrum just to show you. Superior is an 857 win. Any grass, 813 Vic, Shadow Vic, 972 or 792 Venusaur. Gligar, right? Gligar can only throw resistant moves, 780, 760 wins on the normal Shadow. A Charm user, a Ninetales Charm user, 711 because your hit's super effective against the ice. Vigoroth, even though it can just throw neutral rock sides now, it's still like 6-7. So like a lot of big wins, a lot of big losses, some mediish runs, right? Normal Swampert, Trevenant, Sandslash, Azumarill, Lickitung, Defense Deoxys, they're all like small wins or small losses. But yeah, a lot of problems that you can run into with Skarmory. So that is why it's at rank #1, because it got such the buff, and because I think PvPoke measures against, because it does measure against the top Pokemon. So you have a better chance. It basically runs the analysis, and I think it weights more if you can win more against the top meta than like the bottom meta. So like, because Skarmory is going to do well against like Lickitung, Azumarill, Medicham, Mantine, Pelipper, Gligar, Vigoroth, Mandibuzz, Toxapex, like all these, Clodsire, all these Pokemon are in the top 15, which Skarmory is going to deal with them. So it's just like, yes, you get a higher rank. But then, like I said, you go down into like Talonflame's at 21. Lantern is Spark Lantern. I mean, regular Lantern's at 19. Water Gun's at 19. Regular's at 34. Shadow Bastion's at 30. So it's not accounting for these wins or losses as much. Charjabug's at 51, which will again just destroy you. Right? So there's a lot of Pokemon that beat you that we just went over here, that it doesn't truly account for its scoring there. So if you're taking anything from this video, it is you're going to have a lot of good matchups. You're going to have a lot of bad matchups. It could be RPS at time. You need to cover Talonflame, Lantern, Charizards with both Pokemon in the back, which is very tough to team build with. And yeah, it got buffed because it went up to energy as opposed to just the one we thought. But in practice, I don't think that it actually is worth a 1. And I honestly don't even think I put it in my top 10 Pokemon that I want to use, if I'm being honest, right? Even though it'll beat a lot of these Pokemon I'm going to say, I'd still run Swampert, I'd still run Lickitung, I still run Gligar, and I'm aware Skarmory will beat a lot of those Pokemon. I still think that overall, I just feel more comfortable with running those Pokemon as opposed to just like winning hard and losing hard with Skarmory. But that's my analysis on Skarmory. So stay tuned for my analysis on Talonflame this afternoon. And then I think we're going to try and do Poliwrath and maybe Wiggly tomorrow. But yeah, let me know if I already asked this in my thing. So I know that people want to see Wiggly and Poliwrath, and then I'll do Vigoroth, and then I'll do maybe Ninetales and all the Azumarill and all the other ones this week for sure. So I'll probably put out multiple videos every day this week just to get all these new ones out, and then we'll think of a not as crazy schedule, hopefully, moving forward, especially that we're at Christmas at the end of the month. Anyways, that is it. Hope this was helpful with the new analysis. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the new subscribers. And I will see you guys in the next one.